Hey out there, everybody. This is a video response to Movie Music 007, and he wanted us to talk about our least favorite movies, I do believe, is how I titled it. Just to start off, this is another rough one for me. This is another challenge, and this is why I definitely did a video response, because here's the problem as far as showing stuff. I don't keep movies I don't like. If I buy something, like if I blind buy something or something suggested to me and, I get it, try to watch it, don't like it, I give it away, I'll sell it, whatever. I don't keep it. I don't have enough room as it is for the stuff that I do like, let alone to keep trash around that I don't want. So that's how that goes. Two is I don't usually buy stuff I don't like. I don't let that happen to myself. I usually look into something a lot, and usually if I'm buying something that I'm blind buying something, I'm buying it for a reason, for a certain actor, for a certain director, for writer, or whatever, whatever reason. If it's something in a genre that I think I might like or whatever. So it's very rare that it happens that I buy something I don't like. Normally if I see something I don't like, it's because I went to the theater and seen it, or somebody let me borrow it, or I watched it at somebody's house, or whatever. Okay, to get that out of the way, I wrote down on this piece of paper stuff to remind me, because I wouldn't think about it, but a movie that I watched that it seems to me everybody I talk to really likes it. I haven't yet talked to anybody that really doesn't like it, but is Wes Anderson's Royal Tenenbaums. I own Bottle Rocket, and I like Bottle Rocket. I like Rushmore. Thought Rushmore was really good. I want to see the Darjeeling Limited, but didn't like Royal Tenenbaums. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was boring. I didn't get into the characters. And the funny thing is, it has a great cast. The cast is amazing. I love Gene Hackman. I love Angelica Houston, Danny Glover. A lot of people involved. Gwyneth Paltrow. There's a lot of people in this movie that I really enjoy, but I did not like the Royal Tenenbaums. I just didn't care for it. Another movie with a great cast that I did not care for is Donnie Darko. Everybody loves that movie, it seems like to me. I don't really know a whole lot of people that didn't like it. Most people are either like, yeah, it was pretty good, or man, I love that movie. I just thought it was so boring. The casting, I like the actors that were cast in the movie. I like just about everybody in it, but they either, to me, they didn't feel like they fit their part, or they felt like they just didn't give a shit and we're just making the movie just to be making it, which I don't know why, because it was an independent movie, and fucking I'm sure they didn't make any money. So I don't know. I don't know what it was about the movie. I'm not trashing it. I'm not saying I thought it was a bad movie. I just didn't like it. It bored me to tears, and the only reason I watched it from beginning to end is because a buddy of mine brought it over and was so insistent that I see it that I sat there and watched it with him. And I think it broke his heart when the movie was over, because I was like, dude, I didn't really like that too much. Anyway, to move on, Napoleon Dynamite. I did not like that movie at all. I didn't think it was funny. It was fairly stupid. I still don't really care for John Heder that much. The only thing I thought he was funny in was the Benchwarmers, I do believe, with Rob Schneider and whatnot, David Spade. I think that's what it's called, Benchwarmers. I don't own it, but I watched it one time and thought it was pretty funny. But it wasn't funny because of him. He just happened to be kind of funny in it. But didn't like Napoleon Dynamite. A movie that everybody seems to like, that amongst my friends that like Asian action and are Jet Li fans and just martial arts fans in general, is Jet Li's Unleashed. I didn't like the movie, and I like Morgan Freeman, and I was like, hell yeah, Morgan Freeman's in a Jet Li movie, I gotta see that. That bored me to tears. I don't want to see Jet Li be a half-retarded, invalid that, I don't know, I just didn't care for it. I didn't get into it, I didn't get into the story, I didn't get into the characters. When I watch a Jet Li movie, I grew up watching Jet Li's Asian films and having to watch them subtitled or no subtitles, just not even understanding, just watching him kick ass. And when I watch Jet Li in a movie, I want to see him kick ass constantly. I don't want to see him whine. I don't want to see him, feeble in a corner and shit. I just didn't like it. Sorry. If you liked it, my bad. Whatever. But one that I've seen in recent years, in the past like 3 or 4 years at the theater, because I don't go to the theater much, but one that I saw in the theater that just really just pissed me off that I even paid money to see it was Spider-Man 3. I thought that movie was the biggest piece of shit I've seen in I don't know how long. That's my opinion. You know, I'm not going to be one of those guys that just sits there and berates a movie and says that it's horrible because I think it's horrible. I thought it was a piece of shit. I'm a Sam Raimi fan. I liked the first two movies. I thought they were good, even though, you know, they weren't dead on to the comic. So what? You know, big deal. But that third movie just threw me way the fuck off. It seemed to me like half the actors could care less at this point about the roles. They're just like, hey, we're getting a big paycheck, so let's just show up and shoot a scene and go the fuck home. So, you know, that movie to me, I mean, the emo Spider-Man, the fact that you got 3 fucking villains and, you know, you can't keep track of anything that's going on. The fact that the butler knew the whole fucking time, saw the whole thing, and knew that Peter Parker and Spider-Man didn't kill Norman Osborn, but waited until the last fucking minute to tell Harry, like, whatever, dude, I don't know. But anyway, that I'm done with that. But to move on to something else, I'm going to add a little something to this video, as I usually try to do, because I want to put my own little spin on things. But I'm going to talk about stuff that I think's a little overrated. It's not that I dislike these movies, but I did want to show some stuff in my collection. For one, to start out with, you know, if you don't like it, that's fine. You can be mad at me or whatever, but this movie has, I don't know, it's always been one of those movies I heard about growing up. It's Citizen Kane, and you know, you always hear about how amazing this movie is, and maybe I got it blown up for me. Maybe it just people talked about it so much and acted like it was this amazing film that when I watched it, I was just like, really, that was it? But I mean, it's a good movie, and it's an entertaining movie, but I just don't see it as this amazing time-spanning film. I mean, for its time and for the way it got made and all the things around it, yes, incredible story, you know, incredible shots, you know, for its time. The acting is amazing and everything. I just didn't really get into it. I think it's a little overrated. But a lot of people are really going to kill me for this one, but this movie is the most overrated movie of the past 10 years. Made so much money. If you can't say, it's The Dark Knight. Made so much money, and really for no reason. Don't get me wrong, Chris Nolan fan. I like Chris Nolan. And this movie is leaps and bounds better than Batman Begins. But really, it's not a good Batman movie. Batman's not in it. And when he is in it, he's not doing the shit that Batman does. I can't wait until we get a Batman movie where he's actually a detective and he detects instead of using, you know, badass cars and badass motorcycles and shit that he never fucking used in the first place. I mean, you know, maybe in the old comics, but, you know, not in the stuff that is inspiring the Dark Knight character. But yeah, that's just me. You know, Heat's performance is what makes this movie for me. The Batman stuff is no good. This movie might as well have been called The Joker for me instead of The Dark Knight, because that's the only reason I own it, and it's the only reason I continue to watch it, because Heath Ledger's performance was so goddamn amazing. If he wasn't in it and the performance wasn't that good, this movie would have been wrote off with Batman and Robin, because I don't think it's that great a film. And on top of that, this Blu-ray edition is on extreme epic fail because the special features are crap. I heard a rumor that Criterion was interested in doing their own edition of The Dark Knight to pay service to the fans to get a real special edition as opposed to the phony crap that we got on this. But anyway, that's my opinion. That's my video response. Hope I did it justice. Hope I did something that was enjoyable. And I guess I'll see everybody next time. Take care.